forth from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Away your wine and feel it. 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 Let's go. I remember long ago, how the party used to go. Well, anytime you come alive, was to hold someone and wine. Now everybody on the phone, man they can't leave it at home. Through the party shining bright, camera and video light. It's only social media, no social behavior. Away your wine, bust the wine, my girl now. Away your wine, stop the wine, my girl now. It's only social media, no social behavior. Away your wine, put on your phone, just wine. Hey, take me wine now, take me back to the party. Take me back long time, take me back to the era. Soca woman and wine. Take me back to the party. Take me back long time. Take me back with the hands in the air. Hold someone and wine on the road. Away your wine and feel good. Away your wine and bend your back and wine, girl. Hold your head and wine, girl. Roll that bouncy and wine, girl. Away your wine, girl. Roll the thing and wine, girl. Hold somebody and wine, girl. Party dress code in the day was the easiest way. And when the crew was on the way, well man, the party start from there. And when you reach the party door, energy forevermore. Well, I go start the bacchanal. No VIP, just general. No, it's just social media, no social behavior. Away you wine, nobody whining, nobody whine, nobody whining. It's only social media, no social behavior. Away you wine. What? Nobody whine. Hey, hold somebody. Take me back to the party. Take me back long time. Take me back to the era. So can jump up and whine, whine. Take me back to the party. Take me back long time. Take me back to the era. So can jump up and whine, whine.
It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music and vibes to start your day right.
So can jump up and whine, whine. Take me back to the party.
Taking you back to the party, take you back to a good time.
So can jump
Take you back to all those memories that you have.
me back to the party.
Hey everybody, good morning to you. Yes, beautiful midweek Wednesday morning to each and every one of you, wherever you may be. Good morning Trinidad, good morning to Tobago, our neighbors in the Caribbean, our friends who are streaming all around the globe,
To the era.
and of course our friends and family that are streaming
Take me back to the
all the different spaces and time zones. Thank you very much for getting up early, coming in.
to the era.
I'll be happy to have you.
Pop and whine.
Just in case you're wondering where you are, well, this is New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. And yes, we take you above and beyond.
Back to the party. Take me back long
I want to say much thanks as always to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day.
and whine.
And everything that we do,
Take me back to
let
the
it be a blessing unto you, dear Father. People,
long time.
Sir Charles, that is me. Happy am I to be in this space with you.
Jump up and whine, whine.
As we welcome everybody. That means you, and you. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Woo! You know, I always play that, and every time I play it, here, I wonder it's already Wednesday, boy.
Yeah, it is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's midweek already, believe it or not. So good morning, guys, and of course, good morning to our viewers and listeners wherever you are across the planet, whatever time zone. Good morning to you, and of course, good morning to my co-hosts Wendell and Sir Charles on this midweek Wednesday morning.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Wendell.
Morning, Richard. Morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. I need to go somewhere where I could just sleep for a few days, yes?
So if you're not sleeping here, you will sleep somewhere else?
I definitely will sleep somewhere else. Anytime I go somewhere, I sleep. Trust me. I think I just need sleep.
Wow.
You know. Anyway, we're happy to be in the land of the living. I just have a few birthdays. Let me get them out of the way quickly. Michael Conrad, he goes by the name Mike Boss on Facebook. Happy birthday, Michael. Valmiki Maharaj from Lost Tribe, he's celebrating his birthday today. Lennox Chamchoy, Stephen Telfer, swim coach. Sterling Howell performs on a boat. Van Sundar, Glenn Morris, and Nika Walker. They are all celebrating birthdays today. Also, Marsha O'Brien. All right, those are all my birthdays today. Today is March 11th, 2026. All right.
All right, I don't have any birthdays. I was just checking my phone to see if I had birthdays, but no, I don't think I have any. Because, you know, my phone has to remind me of birthdays. I don't remember it like you.
No, my phone reminds me too. I remember a few, but it's generally I go by my phone. Trust me. But
the phone has so many things now, right?
Sorry, Sir Charles. Yeah, lots of stories in the newspapers today, and two of them stuck out at me. With wrongful arrest again, and judges awarding people large sums of money due to wrongful arrest. One of them is a young man who was arrested on Arpita Avenue inside of his family-owned business. Gino Mendez Stewart. No, he is not Gino. He is Lorenzo Mendez Stewart. He was awarded over $0.2 million by Justice Francis Prasad. And also there's another story that I saw about a young man who was arrested and denied access to his attorneys. He was awarded $115,000 in damages. You know, all of this is why we really need some sort of, how I should put it, reform of whatever system to make the people who put these people through this thing pay. Because the state had to pay now, You understand? So you arrest somebody, deny them access to their attorney, right? The state had to pay. You arrest somebody, say they had marijuana, running the business place. It so happens they have cameras inside the business place that showed a different version of what the police say, right? So the state now had to pay him for your going to court and talk and lying, because that's how the judge described it to him. You understand? Those two stories, I'm fed up seeing stories like that now.
Yeah, there are normally too many of them, and you're right. And it makes you really wonder, where is and what kind of oversight? So what, you go out and you arrest somebody and you just write up everything and you carry them to court or whatever is the case. So there's nobody. I thought the DPP and all those persons are supposed to determine if there's charges to be laid and all that kind of thing. We don't have that for smaller crimes, or that is only when judge and magistrate and senior police officer and thing getting locked up.
Let me take that one. Huh?
No, sometimes the DPP would be unaware, but the DPP should be aware, should become aware, especially if it's going into the High Court, because that's when a prosecutorial officer is there, meaning the DPP's office is involved, or the prosecutor's office. Well, and at that point, you should have the evidence and you should say, look, in my opinion, this case makes no sense. I don't think we will get to the mark of reasonable. We wouldn't be able to override reasonable doubt, so that there is enough reasonable doubt that this person should not have reached this far. And look, let's come to some sort of settlement considering the issue, because you have to come to a settlement. So considering the issue and negotiate out of it. Now, you may not be able to come to a monetary settlement, but the person is entitled to take it to court if it's a wrongful arrest. But the state has to pay in a sense, because those are state officers.
Yeah.
And usually it's not just one officer, it's several. So some of them know that this person is being an idiot and charging this person for no reason, and they go along with it. So it's the state. Because the state has hired these people who are lying. And that's not just one or two. There are quite a few cases like that in the court system right now.
Several.
You understand? So that is done. What you may not get is not all people go through the process of taking civil action to get compensation for the wrongful arrest.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that. Some are just relieved that the matter is done. The nightmare is done.
Yeah. And that's what I said, because it costs the state, it costs the taxes, it costs us all that sort of money, and it's a real constant situation. There was also another story when there was a police officer who took his colleagues to court and win them a whole set of money to
Yes, that is also in the papers. State to pay cop for second case of false imprisonment. So he was awarded prior, and now he's being awarded sums of money again for false imprisonment by his own colleagues. So he get to feel he experienced what it feels like. A police officer, PC Anandas. You're right. I've skipped over that one because I know it's at the very front of the newspapers.
Yeah.
You know, they tried to hide the other two in the back, but I find them.
But what did media have to do trying to hide anything like that?
I just tried to be funny. You know, two people who live abroad called me yesterday after the show. Well, they didn't call. Well, one called me and one messaged me and said, "Lord, they can't. They laugh uncontrollably on a morning, especially yesterday. I don't know what we do yesterday that had people laughing on. Is you on your piss a bed thing, piss a bed talk?"
Me, I see, but that's just a dream you have, and you have to get up and pee. That's all.
They say, my God, I laugh. And of course, one of them is really laughing here. Morning Charmaine and morning Manish from Japan. I think Japan, Manish is already on. Well, it's nighttime in Japan already. So, you know, so, but they say, thanks for the programming on a morning. And we really want to thank you all for keeping us, how I should put it, focused on a morning sometimes, you know, because we wouldn't be doing this thing without if not for you all, right? Good news, Sir Charles. Let's get it. Oh, but anyway, before you do good news, let me add to the good news. Somebody sent me a video of a place, Richard. How you and tell me about this? Right up in Marval there, called Backshot. It used to be
but the Backshot hotel used to be here. They have a food hub there.
I was amazed by what I saw on the video. I've seen places like that. There's a place in Canada called, I think it's St. Lawrence Market. I think that's what it's called. They have a type of thing like that where you go in there and you get all different kind of little things to eat and stalls, places you could sit down, places that people could be entertained. And then I've seen it in Portugal, but I didn't know we had a place like that. I was amazed by what I saw on that video, right up on Saddle Road there in Marval.
Yeah, that's what they were prepping there for a while, and they opened recently. They talked about what they were going to bring there, you know. It was a news item at some point, or it was on social media. So that food hub. So it's but you know, they have several food hubs like that across the country now.
Well, they have one Woodbrook Place, one Woodbrook Yard, and then they have probably one on the Avenue. That's the only two I know.
No, they have in other parts of the country too.
Okay.
Like Grandy has one. I think there's Aranguez, I think, has one too.
Okay.
So
I was really impressed.
It's very popular with the choices you have now, the choices of food you have too.
Yeah.
But that one looks really nice too.
But that's a big property. If you remember that property start from the
I was very upset when they broke down the Backshot Hotel itself. Because that was such a classic building, if you remember, Wendell. It was circular.
Yes.
They used to have weddings and stuff on top. It was very elegant and very it was like a mansion.
Yeah, I remember.
And they had a pub at the bottom.
Crab Hole, it's a place called Crab Hole, not so?
Crab Hole?
Was it Crab Hole on that compound?
It's confusing where else you use go, you know, and try to bring it.
Richard, Crab Hole.
No place called Crab Hole.
So many places I remember all of them.
Richard.
Yeah.
Crab Hole was on that
a place on a beach.
No, I think there was a place called Crab Hole there.
No, there was. I remember the place.
You see, Sir Charles, do you remember? Richard, I'm sure you remember Crab Hole.
I don't know Crab Hole, sir.
Yeah, I think
There was a place called Café des Artistes where they used to have a lot of spoken word and poetry and you had artistic nights that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was once called Café des Artistes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had a night where, and they also had a night where it was an open mic that you could come and sing, you could do your poetry, you could do whatever it is you wanted. Yeah, it was that kind of space too. So I know that.
Look, Wendy and James is confirming there was a place there called Crab Hole. I have a good memory for them things. You know?
Excuse me, I don't know nothing about no crab hole. If all you used to be up in the crab hole, that is all the business. I was never there.
Richard, you used to knock about just as much as me long time. Don't try that. I'm sure you end up in crab hole.
I was never in a crab hole.
Maybe he was there. I didn't realize that he was there.
I just remember the place used to be dark when you're going there. You had to be literally straight.
There's a reason why they call it that, I suppose.
Yes, man.
But I remember, but Backshot Hotel, when they knocked it down, I was upset about it. I felt it had historical relevance because it was such a mark in that Maraval area.
Mm-hmm.
And they just knocked it down casually, and I was like,
well, that's been knocked down for more than 20 years now, eh?
Yeah, and when it was not done, was done very casually, and then people were upset after. And nothing happened. Nothing for 20 years, Wendell. It's more than 20 years, probably.
Yes. It's been a long time that space has been empty.
And nothing happened.
Yeah. But that stretch of Maraval there, Sad Road, have a lot of nice places, you know. Have quite a few nice places along that stretch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Look, somebody said they got engaged at Crab Hole. Pamela Grimshaw. She said, I got engaged at Crab Hole. What?
Oh, she got the ring.
But I don't know.
How she got the ring?
Couldn't see away.
At least it's nice to see that the property is alive again.
Yeah, but I was really impressed by what I saw.
That Backshot Hotel was special. And I know for the younger people, they will have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah.
Villa Maria still down there also? Remember?
Villa Maria is the other side. Villa Maria is all the way up in Perseverance.
I don't know all the way up inside. The name of the area.
Yeah, Villa Maria is all the way up inside by Perseverance.
Okay.
But there was also a nightclub there that they used to do like Latin dancing. There was a Latin night right there in that area. Attic.
Yeah, I remember.
You damn well know Crab Hole then. Don't try that. Once you know the attic, you know Crab Hole.
But Attic is early in the when they made the turn. It was right there. Villa Maria.
All of them in the same area, generally in the same area.
Oh yeah, Attic is in shops of Maraval.
Yeah,
right after Massey.
Yeah.
But before Massey,
when you go long inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another way to go inside for Villa Maria. But I remember Attic.
I've been to a couple of those Latin nights, so that's how I know Attic.
Yes, right. I remember Attic for Latin nights in particular. I used to enjoy going there for that. Oh, anyway, do good news, Sir Charles.
Yeah. I know. Well, that was part of the good news.
Yeah, we got sidetrack there, a big sidetrack.
We're coming back.
This is without exaggeration the vehicle with the most authority on American roads. Even a presidential motorcade must stop for it. Yes, the school bus. When a school bus comes to a stop and extends its red stop sign, every vehicle must brake immediately. It does not matter whether you're traveling in the same direction or approaching from the opposite lane or entering from an intersection. All traffic must come to a complete stop and wait while students get on or off. Traffic may proceed only after the bus retracts its sign and begins moving again. Official motorcades and emergency vehicles cannot ignore this law. Anyone who violates it faces substantial fines, license suspension, and possible criminal charges. In many states, cameras on the bus record drivers who fail to stop. The bus is built to extremely high safety standards and is designed like a reinforced vehicle to protect children in serious crashes. That is why the school bus is considered the safest land vehicle in the world.
That was almost like a did you know? Because I did not know that. I did not know that if it, you know, that if its arm came out to say stop, that, you know, it was all of that.
Yeah. You've never experienced those buses?
I've never experienced driving and that extension came out and said stop.
The extension comes out, yeah.
Yeah, I've never experienced that part of it while I was driving.
Yes.
Whenever I've driven in the States. So
what is that?
I just found it was a really nice feature. You know, for a bus, because it shows that, you know, these people they think about a lot of things that most other countries and other places don't think about at all.
Yeah.
You can't say most other places. Yeah, they say about Trinidad. We don't think about Trinidad. So say Trinidad. Don't say other places, because we don't know what's going on in other places. But we know that our school bus not reinforced.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look at what happened yesterday.
Most Caribbean places like that.
If what? Diego Martin?
Video that we showed from Diego Martin where the maxi stopped and the child was crossing and the child was knocked down. We've not heard anything about that since, yeah?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
We never ever had a comprehensive, proper, like how because they are zoned, they're not zoned in the United States in terms of school. I suppose it makes it easier in terms of the transport system of where you meet the bus. I mean, a lot of people can just come out of the top of their road or sometimes right in front of their house. But when you're zoned, you can put those kinds of things in place better, so that parents don't even have to study how my child is getting to school.
Yeah.
So it's one of the pluses of zoning. But you know, we are afraid to buy the bulletin zone.
We're not doing that. The church is not going to do that.
Yeah, so it's
Let's greet the people in stream one now.
All right. Robert Allen came in at 11:50 p.m. last night. Morning, Robert. Valerie Mendoza, good morning to the breakfast. Today's show was not given a rerun, only the news. A rerun? We don't do, Kyle don't do reruns for us. ITV used to do reruns.
Today's show was not giving a rerun.
Yeah.
I think I know what the person was talking about. They talk about YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube. Copyright infringement again. So I had to go in and take it out.
That's happening regular now, huh?
Yeah.
Eunice Dublin came in at 1:12 a.m. Margaret Thomas, Joyce Philip, Odell Guy, Beefy Smith says it's hump day. Manuela Peters Apollinaus, Erica Charles, CJ from New York, morning CJ, always laughing. Deborah Noel Surrett, Ambrose Blah out there in New York, Diane, Marlon Motley in North Valsayn.
Morning, Marlon.
Debbie Modeste, Robert Taylor, Kenny in Harlem, just a nice guy. I haven't heard from you for a while now. Morning to the most informative, balanced, and topical station in the Caribbean, New Era TT. Thanks for that greeting, just a nice guy. Pamela O'Connor, who's out there in Palo Seco taking care of a 100-year-old mother. Well done, Pamela. Boy Bidesi from Debe. Ava Smith is also locked on. Carla Hercules from New Jersey. Carol Guevara from Chaguanas. Kurt Hope out there in Nashville, Tennessee. Kathy Ann, Charles, and Arlene in Bronxville. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr. Michael Robinson in Yokohama, Japan. Sherma Paul. Felix Kazo, I haven't heard from you for a little while. Wayne Ramsey in Fort Lauderdale. Doreen Pierre from North Carolina. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. It's a real international audience you have here. You know?
Yeah, for that.
Yeah.
Pamela Grimshaw, Mrs. R, of course, she and her
Good morning, Mrs. R.
A breath of fresh air. Gavin Frank from Powder Magazine, San Kofa from St. Augustine, Rena Boudou Jennings from Petey Valley, Estelita Sampson from San Fernando, Merle McComey from, I can't remember, Hilary Zahn called Nazir Ali. Mrs. R said some get off on technicalities too. They're getting off from being wicked. No, I talking about the police here.
No.
No, well, that was a technicality. I know what you mean by that. No,
yeah, no, many of them is not technicalities at all. It's
exactly.
pure wrongdoing in terms of the police.
Yes.
Many of them is that.
Yes, that's why making papers, and that's why judges now awarding them these huge sums. That can be a technicality when you get awarded a huge sum.
And I think when judges in their own way kind of do these things with some of these things to highlight the problems, it's for the others now who are overseeing the problem to fix it.
That ain't happening. Erica Charles says happy birthday.
Sometimes you wonder where the good men are and the good women are, because they're the ones who can stop and say, hey, no, you're wrong, and challenge the officer. But sometimes the officer who want to do the thing feel big and bad, eh?
But most times they're big and they're bad, Richard. They are rogue.
Yeah, but that's what they feel, the big and the bad.
Anyway, happy birthday to Erica Charles's daughter, Kathy Sue Taylor. Happy birthday, Kathy, from your mommy, Erica, and of course, the breakfast show. Trini Merle Kitchen out there in Oshawa, Ontario. Arlene Lois, Estelita Sampson said, good poll, Wendell, should the police pay? We asked that question already, Ms. Sampson. We did poll that already. Should the money come from the police? David,
and I wasn't really in support of that.
You won't?
No.
Okay.
I think they could get some internal discipline if need be, but the state have the money, not necessarily the police officer. And people want the money. They want to say, well, he's a man of straw, he don't have the money. You want to take his fridge? No. I want the money. So let the state pay. Let the state have the internal discipline system to deal with when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Alistair,
you are getting your money. They say, oh, give him $2 million for what he went through. And the man say, I have no $2 million. What? No, let the state pay it.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think you'll get much argument against that, Richard. Helen Prescott says good morning. Alistair Hart also says good morning. Sant Kofa say I find the awards the police victims receive is too small.
That is my opinion too, because I think it should start at $500,000. It should start somewhere there, because there is nothing that really can compensate you for going through days of your life in a police cell and the trauma that is.
So true, eh? And imagine not even being afforded a call to an attorney.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. David Wells says good morning, and he spoke about the Backshot Box Park. That's what they call it, Backshot Box Park. Interesting. I haven't been up that side for a little while. I'll try to go up and take a look. And Wendy Anna says Wendy Anna and Rena Boudou Jennings confirming about Crab Hole. Kerwin Duke, pleasant morning. Marlon Motley's laughing. Crab Hole was a nightclub. Yeah, it was a dark nightclub.
I was right up your alley when there, because you like them kind of things.
Long before I wore glasses.
Yeah, and like Sir Charles too, because Sir Charles was very vehement to say, yes, another Crab Hole.
Yeah, as a DJ, I play all over the place.
Oh, that's the excuse.
Yes.
Your excuse.
Boy, I was in Copa. Yeah, but boy, I was in Copa last night. What? No, I was DJing.
No, I have played in a number of places and a number of strange kind of events too, I must tell you about them someday.
Some partners way back in the day tried to force me up on a stage in Copa already, Copa is done on the street, right?
Yeah, give an advertisement, they're not advertising there,
They're still there?
I think so. I don't know if they're still there.
Yes.
I tell you, since I went into local government, I have stayed far from those places. Pamela Grimshaw said I got engaged in
They're not your constituents too.
they could go, not me. They all part of Port of Spain too, eh?
Yes.
Marcia Rock from, I think she's Orlando, Florida. Scorpion Pepper says, good morning. Buckshot entertained a certain type of clients. Probably still entertaining them. Grand Rising, Wendell and Crabhole and Richard and Buckshot, Super Tell. That's Christopher. Sankofa said, furthermore, I'm not going into no Crabhole. Next thing I come out with a Gandhi biting you wrong. Oh Lord, only have me reading all this stupidness. Amanda and Damian Edwin says, good morning.
Hold up. Read that again.
No, I'm not reading it again.
Read that again.
Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Damian.
That's
a Canadian crew.
Sadkofo says, next thing he come out with a Condi bite in the wrong place. Oh, Jesus, no, the wickedness. Villa Maria was in fact higher up. Deborah Noel Surratt, you guys made my day today. Thank you very much, Deborah. Carl Hercules, yes, there was, but maybe before Richard's time. Hello, Richard just playing the fool with all, yeah? Saria.
I don't know, Crabhole.
Yeah. Saria Edwards, that's a new name. Good morning to all. You three have me laughing, Crabhole. Scorpion Pepper, was it at Attic that Richard learned his dance moves? Possibly. Julia Samantha, good morning. Magic says good morning. Claire Lendor Rollins, Diana Hamill, Lincoln Foxtrot, Carlisle Cupid. Today, Japan remembers the victims of 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. It has been 15 years and more than 18,000 people lost their lives. That's coming from, of course, Michael Robinson out there in Yokohama, Japan. Richard, unless they are forced to buy a sort of insurance like liability coverage repair, that's Alistair Hart comment.
What? Insurance? No, let me say pay. Insurance look for reason why not to pay.
Not to pay. You're right. You're very right. And they have this thing called what is called the person who they sent to check it out?
Adjuster.
Adjuster. The adjuster. And the adjuster does only go down, eh?
Yeah.
Only go down.
The adjusters never say, no, you're too low.
Yeah.
Don't accept liability at any point in time.
Yeah, a set of scams. Ron DeSantis Jr. want to know what is Copa and Crabhole. Cheryl Mirage, good morning. Nicola McNichols, also good morning. And CJ is doing what she does absolutely best, laughing. Those are all my greetings. Woo, went through a lot there today.
Yeah, you went through a lot there, So Terry Ann Peters, good morning. Terry Ann was off the blocks very early after she got up late yesterday. Shaman out there in New York is here. Mahi out there in Columbus, Ohio, good morning. Fifi in Addis Ababa. Patsy out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, good morning to you. Colin and Kelly out there in Caranage. Victor Sebastian, good morning. Frank in Aruka, good morning. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada. Captain Ron in Orlando. Brenda in Penal. Zena out there in Arima. Zena, any more cake? Mr. Billy and the Powder Magazine people, good morning to you. Peter Wilson, good morning. And Mr. Beeps out there in Maraval. I know exactly what we're talking about. All right, we are running a little behind time, so let's take that commercial break and come back.
Scandal in Cedrus is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Nafarima Bowl. Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Nafarima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Fence of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedrus, the comedy event of the year.
Scandal in Cedrus.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir. Get ready.
TNT Get Ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
There is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at xstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Two fat fellas goes to San Fernando, heading south.
Two fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
Two fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Athletes by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandetickets.com. For more info, 683-4843.
Two fat fellas, Sapa. 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Look, it's Donald Trump! Look, it's the Prime Minister! Look, it's free doubles! Yes! Scandal in Cedros! Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Scandal in Cedros, boy, the place gone mad. Juice a woman and drug.
Oh gosh.
Recognize what is important to Trinidad.
Why you come back on camera? Eh? Yeah, I didn't know. After that.
Recognize what is important to Trinidad.
Oh Lord, I want to know where this thing going. Good one. I'm sure Donald Trump and the Prime Minister will absolutely enjoy the fact that,
nobody come out of the line.
At least a turnaround. Oh Lord. Anyway, let's get into newspapers. You know, I put up a poll and I think I want to change the poll. But morning also to Michael Eastman and Ray Ray out there in West Palm Beach. Morning, Ray Ray. Today, of course, is March 11th, 2026. And the headline in today's Express name, and this is where I think I'll change the poll. U.S. names drug suspects in Trinidad and Tobago. So says the Homeland Security Minister, Roger Alexander. A list of persons of interest also linked to illegal guns and violence. So Charles, I think I want to change our poll to ask,
I just stopped the press.
Yes, stop the press. And I could narrate it for you now. Should the Homeland Security Minister, do you expect action to be taken on these people who the U.S. named? Because I don't know why the U.S. had to name people for us here. We didn't know them. Homeland Security Minister was a senior police officer for years and years and years and years and years. We don't know who are drug suspects or who are people of interest linked to illegal guns and violence. Look, anyway. Carried by care, there's a picture of a father carrying his two daughters Sunday at the Queen's Park Savannah during the Sacred Heart Girls Walkathon. That's also on the front page. Maxi taxi driver remains in custody. So the young man who was in the confrontation with licensing officers was arrested and he is still in custody. Why? Why is he still in custody? For that? Come on. State to pay for second case of false imprisonment. Analyst TNT unlikely to face attacks over Iran stance. That's Dr. Mukesh Basdio. Analysts uncertain over benefits from TNT joining SHIELD. Alexander, U.S. coalition historic. And I was tempted to read this story, but I'll just read this part. Alexander said, I support this move. So much so that when it happened, I was moved, totally moved. Because when you look at it, this is something completely different. And it's an initiative that could only happen under the current government led by Kamala Prasad Bisesa. A little bit again, he said he moved to tears. Ishmael M. Khan store.
What is he talking about, Benel? The SHIELD?
The SHIELD, yeah.
The SHIELD of the Americas, okay.
Yeah, the SHIELD of the Americas led by the U.S. Also in the newspapers, $2.3 million VAT fraud, man, woman, and firm to face trial over THA invoices. So this is something that happened in Tobago.
Talk about what white collar crime.
Wrongful arrest, cannabis activists awarded over $0.2 million. Minister disabled, also eligible for land program, and that's Minister Saddam Hussein, who made some comments last night that I also agreed with concerning his stance on Iran and what's happening out there in the Middle East. I'm happy that at least two of the ministers who are of the Islamic faith is standing up for their faith. I was David Naked and now Saddam Hussein has done it. All right, so that's today's Express.
Okay. Well, recraft the poll now.
Yes, I'll recraft it and send it to you.
All right, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning. So the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian main stories. Off limits to Tobagonians, access to Grafton Beach Resort remains restricted amid U.S. military presence. So that's one of the main stories that the Guardian went with this morning. Government silent on details after PM's talks with U.S. Southern Command, who sent calls for peace during Ramadan as Iran war escalates. Analysts skeptical about impact of counter-cartel coalition in TNT crime rules. HSF assets rise to US $6.6 billion despite $410 million withdrawal. Analysts also Chevron interest not surprising. Massey opens Orange Grove warehouse. Extending maternity leave leads to more capable children And TNT Chamber President, empathy does not mean weakness. And AmCham TNT President, when women lead businesses become stronger. So that's just some of the trending stories in the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today. So that Shield of Americas and the Prime Minister's meeting with the Southern Command would be interesting to see what the results are of that. Remember, yesterday we would have asked Garvin Hira whether he supported a U.S. military presence in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Trinidad and Tobago is not, doesn't have, how should I put it? We have a history of the U.S. being present here. A lot of it before a lot of our times. I mean, in when the U.S. were in Chagaramas, and they were in Wallafield too, I believe. And hence songs like Gene and Dinah, etc., from Sparrow and stuff like that. So I suppose some parts of the country, not some parts of the country, some people in the country would support whatever it takes to minimize crime. And some, of course, will look at it as an affront to our sovereignty. So we'll see how it all plays out.
But that is why, Richard, I don't understand that the U.S. I don't understand this story that the U.S. names drug suspects in Trinidad and Tobago. So what are we going to do about it?
They name the drug. Who they name the drug suspects to?
Well, apparently to the Homeland. Well, I don't know who, but all right, let me read a little bit of the article. United States officials have provided Trinidad and Tobago with a list of persons of interest in the country linked to illegal drugs, guns, and violence. So says Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. He said that.
Okay.
So they have provided a list. What are we going to do about it?
You can't do anything unless you have evidence.
And that is why I say, that is why I get tired of everybody now, Richard, with this nonsense, I get tired of government after government coming to me with this nonsense, That we know who Mr. Big is. We know who the big fish is. We know who the gangs are. Oh, for crying out loud.
Well, knowing and having the evidence to meet beyond reasonable doubt is two different things. So you may have suspects, and Americans are accustomed to that too. They may have the suspects of who is leading whatever a mafia or cartel in the United States at certain points, but you need the evidence because you are governed by laws that require you to meet an evidential threshold. So you may have suspects, but you have to accumulate the evidence to charge.
Richard, and you're right. But the difference is that what are we doing about it? America will do something about it. Their agencies will do something about it. What are we doing about it? After hearing of this for so many years, through so many different governments.
We'll see what changes. We'll see what changes, if anything changes. I mean, the Prime Minister's meeting with Southern Command is not insignificant.
Richard, Alexander.
Obviously, whatever transshipment point Trinidad is in terms of drugs going to elsewhere, because we've always been identified as a transshipment point. Obviously, that has to be affected by the fact of the U.S. warships in the international waters and in the Gulf of Paria, and the fact that the U.S. has a presence allegedly in Trinidad and Tobago now, and we have radars and all of that, and there's more of a presence visually that obviously must be impacting. So
you're hoping it's impacting?
Well, it must be impacting.
Well, I hope it's impacting. But we will never know. We probably will never know. Simply because, Richard, Roger Alexander is no stranger to national security. He has been a police officer for a number of years, senior too. The current commissioner of police has been part of special branch, and he said he boasted about how he ran undercover operations. He was in, he solved this. He has been in the police service for a number of years too, Richard. So if the two of them can't fix it, I'm saying this in terms of a commissioner of police who come through the ranks can't fix that TTPS. And I maintain Roger Alexander can't fix national security. Both of them were part of the problem for years. They can't fix it.
Well, I mean, we still have to give them some leeway because they're relatively new to the positions.
And that's what we do all the time.
Yeah, but that's all you can do. You have to give people some level of time to see whether they make an impact.
Get people who are competent and who cannot be compromised in any way. That's what we need to do. Don't give people time to fix what we know can't be fixed. How many times
we can't go about saying it can't be fixed because we have to find out where to fix it. But stay right where you are. Let's go and come back quickly.
Pick a country.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, okay. Please therefore name for me the top 5 by appearances players that have played for Trinidad and Tobago.
Dwight Yorke.
Dwight Yorke's number 1, of course. 375 appearances right there.
Shaka Hislop.
Oh, Shaka Hislop. Number 3. Congratulations. That's 221 appearances.
Did Stern John play in the Premier League?
Stern John did play in the Premier League 63 times, but it's only good enough for number 6 on this list, unfortunately.
Can I guess one?
You can guess one.
Justin Hoyt.
Justin Hoyt, absolutely. He's our number 5 with 83 appearances.
Jason Scotland.
Jason Scotland's number 8. Oof. 32 appearances, of course. You'll kick yourself with at least one of these, possibly 2.
Can we have some clues, please?
Yeah, you can have some clues. Okay. One of these players played 240 times as a left back for 2 different teams. Those 2 teams, I think they were Aston Villa and Bolton.
J. Lloyd Samuel?
J. Lloyd Samuel. He played 240 times, has since sadly passed away. And then number 4, absolute classic Premier League striker, played 195 times, 4 different teams. One of them was definitely Stoke.
Kenwyne Jones?
Kenwyne Jones, yeah. Yes! As part of that, do you remember that Barclays duo of him and Darren Bent, one of the great striking partnerships?
Yes.
What a fantastic time that was. Well done, Trinidad and Tobago.
Did you know?
Yeah, did you know? A lot of us didn't know, I guess.
You mentioned a name, Justin something. I didn't know that Justin.
Hoyt, yeah. I never heard that name either. Honestly. All right, so, I mean, we could take a couple calls while Sir Charles puts up the poll. All right? Apparently, some people prefer if I call Naked a government official because I said minister and they prefer I say government official. So I'll leave it. I'll change it to government official. I was proud of Naked as a government official because he's a senator, and he's in the Ministry of Sport, I think. Right? So maybe I prefer if I say that. Right? No problem. And of course, Minister Saddam Hussein.
So you see the poll this morning, we could squeeze in a couple of calls because, Wendell felt to talk this morning. And we could squeeze in a couple of calls for people so you could get interactive with the show. 281-1315, is that right? 281-1315.
Yeah, you're right.
I see it, Otto, you're saying it wrote, and you're kind of like, am I right? 281-1315, 281-1315, 281-1315. You can call now, and we'll take a couple of your calls before we hit the 7 a.m. and head to news.
All right, so let's go one time because we're almost there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Dabity.
Wendell, morning. Richard, morning.
Morning.
So, I believe that is a smoke screen because they figured that the Prime Minister went and she met with Donald Trump and it's she of the Americas because we were always trying to always parted things with America, but name just changed. And all of a sudden, Alice appears from the US. So then when Alexander was a police officer for how many donkey years, and the commissioner of police was an intelligence officer, how come they didn't have a list or they didn't have persons of interest? All of a sudden, Donald Trump have all the names of drug cartels and he's freeing all who he wants to free. Those were the most heinous of drugs. Well, not heinous, but that's for crime. But those were the worst type of drugs, like the Honduran president, he freed. But he want to come and talk about drug cartel in the Caribbean Sea? Oh, give me a break. Thank you all.
All right. Carla Cupid, you might be right. Is this the usual way to alert the big fish about potential intervention by highlighting to them that they are on the police radar? Because that's what they do. They tell people now that there's a list, the US have a list. So where you feel this big fish and them going to do? Where you feel these drug people going to do?
Kola, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I always say that messages or information, they always have a motive behind it, right? So it's not uncommon. We have been doing it for decades. We have that collaboration with our United States counterparts, right? Pertaining to sharing of information and gathering of intelligence. When it comes to information, you ask the question, what is the motive for this? By telling us that there's a list. It is understood that we always have intelligence that is being shared by the United States. What I see it is, it's a form of deflection, a form of justifying the reason why it is that you member of this Shield of the Americas, right? So the real question to me is, if you all can recall, I believe I said that 2023 or 2024, during the Biden administration, we had a whole issue with this FUL and the importation of these high-powered weapons, not only to Trinidad, but to other Caribbean states. And during the parliamentary committee, joint select committee, where they actually had members from the customs and from police department, where they identified that some of the sources of these guns that are being brought into Trinidad through our legal ports, through the airport and such. They had a meeting of the members of the Democratic members were here together with the ambassador and other Caribbean states, with Dr. Rowley and members of national security, where the Caribbean came as one to look at the importation of these guns from the United States. They had also Mexico was taking actual interest in terms of the gun manufacturers and states, taking action against them too. Mr. President Trump has always been a supporter of that in terms of not taking action against these manufacturers of these high-powered weapons and such. My question is, what has happened to that agreement? I'm hearing nothing about that. We are hearing about the drugs. It's only one part. The issue is the importation of these high-powered weapons. And the discussion upon that has fallen through the cracks. I haven't heard nothing pertaining to that. Hopefully, the media personnel will ask the relevant questions, the ministers of Homeland Security and Defense pertaining to that, and the government. Yes? Thanks.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You avoided using the word intelligence, you used sense. But let me tell you something. This is another set of political grandstanding. I don't know if you remember the Prime Minister boldly declaring recently about the PNM's link to drug cartels and all that. You forget that was said just the other day. And now there's a list. So
we expect to see some PNM names coming up.
Well, that was saying. Is it what you can say?
All right. Now we seeing where. So
yes, politics 101, as they call it.
People, we are going for the news. Continue. The poll is up.
Yeah, our poll, of course, is: do you expect action to be taken against persons of interest linked to drugs and guns as revealed by the US? Yes or no? Do you expect action to be taken against them? Yes or no? All right, that's all. We go for
the news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Gaio Caribbean TV for Wednesday, the 11th of March. I'm Derek McMillan. So glad that you can join us. The city of Lauderhill in Florida has honored Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar by proclaiming March 8, 2026 as Kamla Persad-Bissessar Day. The proclamation was presented by Denise Grant during a diaspora event in Fort Lauderdale. City officials said the recognition highlights Persad-Bissessar's leadership in Trinidad and Tobago and her influence across the wider Caribbean community. It also acknowledged the contributions of the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora in South Florida to the region's cultural, social, and economic life. In a social media post, Persad-Bissessar thanked the city for the honor and described the diaspora as vital partners in the country's development. The National Insurance Property Development Company Limited has come under scrutiny over the payment of pharmaceutical suppliers. During a meeting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, officials said they were instructed by the Ministry of Health to prioritize payments to certain larger companies, while smaller suppliers waited months or even years. Committee Chairman Jagdeel Singh questioned NIPDEC officials about whether former Health Minister Terence Dale Singh was present when instructions were given to prioritize specific companies. Officials confirmed that payment allocations were adjusted following directions from the ministry. The committee heard that at one point, $50 million was directed to a single supplier from an $80 million allocation intended for pharmaceutical payments. A Tobago businessman, a businesswoman, and a company have been committed to stand trial in the High Court over an alleged multi-million-dollar VAT fraud involving the Tobago House of Assembly. During a virtual hearing, Master Kimitria Gray ruled there was sufficient evidence against Richie Habib, Yolande Clark, and Habib International Limited. Investigators allege the company issued 65 invoices to the THA between 2016 and 2021, collecting more than $2.3 million in VAT, despite not being registered under the Value-Added Tax Act. Authorities claim the VAT registration number used on the invoices belonged to another company. The matter is set to begin in the High Court on September 18th. Police have seized ammunition and detained a group of migrants during separate anti-crime operations in Trinidad. Officers of the Northeastern Divisional Task Force conducted a roving strategic drug block exercise in the San Juan and Barataria districts on Monday. During searches along William Street in Aranguez, officers discovered a plastic container hidden in a drain containing 21 rounds of ammunition, believed to be 5.56 millimeter rounds. The items were seized. In a separate exercise later that night, officers detained 21 migrants in Carenage. Police said the group included 11 adult men, 8 adult women, and 2 boys aged 16 and 6. The migrants were detained after officers from the Coastal and Air Support Unit and the Carenage Police Station responded to information from the Radar Center about a vessel heading toward the area. Police said the operations were coordinated by senior officers and form part of ongoing efforts to combat crime and illegal activity. The Trinidad and Tobago Emergency Management Agency is receiving training and equipment from the United States to strengthen disaster preparedness. The support is being provided through the United States Embassy in Port of Spain and United States Southern Command to improve the management of TEMA's disaster relief warehouses. The program, valued at $265,000, will be carried out in 2 phases. The first phase began on March 9th with a 5-day training session in Tobago, where 15 TEMA personnel are learning to use inventory software to better track emergency supplies. Additional warehouse equipment is expected to be delivered later this year. In international news, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling on the people of Iran to overthrow their government as tensions escalate in the Middle East. In a message posted on social media, Netanyahu urged Iranians to remove what he described as their tyrants and seize the moment to gain their freedom. He said Israel and its allies are creating conditions that could allow the Iranian people to determine their own future. Meanwhile, Iran has accused Israel of killing 4 of its diplomats in an airstrike on a hotel in Beirut. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, Amir Saeed Iravani, described the attack as deliberate and a serious breach of international law. However, the Israeli military says the strike targeted operatives linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force. The developments come as Israeli strikes in parts of Lebanon continue to displace civilians.
And that's news to this hour. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show.
Remix, Mr. Flavor Funny Dance Hard, and a shower remix. I know. What you gonna continue? Baby, fire they go. All the boys sit down colo, and they want some poro potom potom tom. She con the pion 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 pion. Waka waka baby, uru uru baby, kona kona baby. And I go tell my mama, and I go tell my papa, and I go tell them say, you be waka waka baby, you be chuku chuku baby, baby sawale, sawa sawa sawale, sawa sawa sawale. Hey, pom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom. Pakolopa, 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 ipom pom. Ojari papa, ukuma baby, achukurege, ipom pom. Ashawo, awusha, awusha, ashawo, ashawo, awusha, pom pom. Pom pom. And the baby sawa lele, sawa le, sawa 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 le. My baby, let me feel it. My baby, let me feel it. My baby, let me feel it. Let me feel it. My baby, let me feel it. Let me feel it. My baby, let me feel it. My baby, I wanna feel it. Lahi lahi ilala, aboki manu where the suya. Aki aki alcohol. Me I want to chop money. I get them plenty, plenty, plenty. Looking for sexy, sexy, sexy. I want some poro potom potom pom. She con the pion 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 pion. Waka waka baby, uru uru baby, kona kona baby. And I go tell my mama, and I go tell my papa, and I go tell them say, you be waka waka baby, you be chuku chuku baby, baby sawale, sawa sawa sawale, sawa sawa sawale. Pom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom, ipom pom, iporokotom. Pakolopa, 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 ipom pom. Ojari papa, ukuma baby, achukurege, ipom pom. Ashawo, awusha, awusha, ashawo, ashawo, awusha, pom pom. Pom pom. And the baby sawa lele, sawa le, sawa 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 le.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Remix.
Remix.
everybody. Good morning to you once again. And of course, welcome inside of the second hour here on New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio. Yeah. And we are happy that you are here with us. And thank you very much for choosing New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. That is a song. If I give you a little story about the song, permit me a little bit. Now, I know it's a song everybody like, everybody love that song, but I don't think people really understand what this man was saying in this song. Yeah. But it's about a very promiscuous woman, Yeah, a shower. Meaning very loose. A very loose woman that you were singing about. But you know what? We love it nevertheless. Yeah, we just love the beat. And I see people doing all kinds of things to that song. Even in praise and worship. I tell as a DJ to see it all, you know. I see it all. Anyhow, people, welcome inside the second hour of the breakfast show. And we're happy to be here with you. Good morning to the folks on Guile Caribbean TV. Good morning to all the people on our social media platforms, New Era TT Radio, Facebook, and also YouTube. Good morning to the folks who are picking us up on TuneIn, and of course on our website at www.newerattradio.com. And of course, those platforms you can check out, especially newerattradio.com, after our TV stream on Facebook and YouTube streams. You can come across and hang out with us for the rest of the day, okay? They're just multi-platforms in the morning, period. So people, our poll is up and the question being asked here, do you expect action to be taken against persons of interest linked to drugs and guns as revealed by the U.S.? So remember, you're voting yes or you're voting no. And then you can put anything after that, right? Yes or no first, please. And when we come back after the break, we'll tell you how you voted.
Scandal in Cedrus is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Nafarima Bowl. Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Nafarima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion C3 Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Fence of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedrus, the comedy event of the year.
Scandal in Cedrus. Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir, get ready.
TNT, get ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band. And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
There is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at accesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
fat fellas goes to San Fernando. Heading south.
2 fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Athletes by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-4843.
2 fat fellas, Sapa, 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, people, so we are back. This is the second hour of the breakfast show. And of course, yes, you are here with us on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV. Good morning to Gael people. When did Gael on, right?
Yes.
Excellent. I saw you show something on the TV, so I was wondering what was going on in the tea room.
Sorry.
It's you?
The tea room?
In the tea room? Yeah. I see something went up on our screen, and I thought it was you. Anyhow, okay. That's tea room. But good morning to the tea room, people. And
no, not chat.
The bosses. Yeah, the bosses. Tea room.
What right there? Oh. Yes.
No, I didn't pray. I just saw something, but I didn't really go into it much, because yeah.
Yeah. What's good?
I'll check it out.
I'm echoing to chat.
See?
Yeah. Somebody, I think it's Mr. Joseph, sent me that reel of that in that picture. I'll send this to Mrs. R. She might want this. She could watch it and dream over it every day or some kind of thing.
Okay. Sundays I'm doing so many things in between this session and the other, so sorry about that. But we are here and we have our morning poll that is up, people. So remember, you're voting yes or no. So vote on the poll. Let's see if we can get past that 72. How long we're trying to break that 72 mark?
Did we go to 80 something one time? No, it's 72. All right. It's 73.
I think we went past once, but not by much.
Yeah. All right. So a poll, of course, is: do you expect action to be taken against persons of interest linked to drugs and guns as revealed by the U.S.? This is a no-brainer, though, but we're asking it anyway because guess what? The minister said the U.S. has provided them with a list. You understand? And let me tell you something. National security, Patrick Manning, God rest his soul, had tried. He really tried, I think, when he was prime minister. First beginning, he brought in people who were not connected to national security as ministers. He tried with Howard Chinley, that didn't work. And then he quickly went to Martin Joseph, who I think was the longest serving national security minister.
Well, I want you to hold that thought because I don't want you to skew the poll.
No, I ain't skewing the poll.
Right.
The poll done very clear. As I say, is a no-brainer kind of poll.
That's not so literally, but it's not a no-brainer.
All right. So you want me read the poll results and then say what?
Yeah. Then comment on those things.
You see how I can obey instructions sometimes. All right. Let's go. You ready?
Yeah.
Marlon Motley says no. Deborah Noel Serret, no. Apollinaus, no. Ron DeSantis Jr., no. Boy Bidesi, no. Beefy Smith, no. Diane, no. Okay. Gregory Boyer, no. Nicola McNichols, no. Ava Smith, no. Joseph Clement, no. Michael Robinson, no. A lot of chat here. All right. Robert Allen, no. Melchizedek, no. Lennox Francois, no. Eunice Dublin, no. Fran Romani, no. Katian Townsend, no. Kurt Hope, yes, don't go after you unless... Oh, the US. Okay, I think he correct. That was what he was trying to say there. Suzanne Jessup, no. Kurt Hope votes no. Colton Finn says yes. Bernadette Yates, no. Alistair Hart, no. Margaret Thomas, no. Rena Jennings, no. Beauty Culture, no. Yep, Miss Jennings, we fixed that. Kelcher Cambridge, no. Rhea Sampson, no. Lincoln Foxtrot, yes, with an explanation. Carla Hercules, no. Wayne Ramsey, no. Estelita Sampson, no. And Carlisle Cupid votes no. No, those are the votes I have on the chat, Sir Charles.
All right. Let me get into here. I see some people now coming in. There's a no, and there's another no. All right, so going so. All right, I don't know all that. People just now, don't call us yet. We'll get back to your calls just now. We're doing the poll right now. So we have Pauline saying yes, Debbie saying no, Mahi saying no, Frank saying yes, Afria saying no, Rockaway saying yes, Sean Ram saying yes, Brenda saying no, Archbishop Ashton Clark saying no, Peter Wilson saying yes, and Foxy saying yes. So that's what I have so far. Anybody else on your side?
I have two more. Sherma Paul says no, and Lyndon Williams says no. So give us the total there, and then I want to say what I was saying earlier on.
I want to get back to him. All right.
Yeah. Anthony Miguel also says no. That's a last minute vote coming in. Anthony
All right,
Miguel.
okay. All right, so 44 people on the poll this morning. 36 of you saying yes. I'm sorry, 36 of you saying no, and 8 of you saying yes.
All right. So
44
people says no action will be taken.
Yeah.
And 8 people says action will be taken.
Yeah, 36 saying action, 8 people saying 36 people saying no action.
That's all right.
8 people saying action. Yeah, that's that. All right, Wendell. Let me hear you now. Go after Patrick Manning.
This is my take on it, right? In that, under Patrick Manning, when he was Prime Minister, of course, he tried to create this arsenal in terms of Trinidad and Tobago protecting the Caribbean, like the big brother of the Caribbean, in terms of the equipment that he would have been investing in, the blimp, the eyes in the sky, the boats that he would have ordered, the radar. If you remember, the radar was a big issue then too. And of course, he went outside of the norm in terms of selecting a national security minister. The first time he made the comment on it, he got a lot of licks for it because he said all you need is a level head on common sense when he appointed Howard Chinley as Minister of National Security. Poor fella Howard Chinley just wasn't up to the task, and he was soon replaced by Martin Joseph, right? Martin Joseph he was never in the national security architecture. Someone of them used to use that word plenty. He came out of an economic background, human resource background, but very good at managing and making sure things happen. And of course, carrying out the mandate of the then government and the then Prime Minister, right? So Martin Joseph, in my opinion, even though the murders started to climb and so on, a lot of things, positive things happened under his watch as Minister of National Security, right? And he also had a good rapport with the people who were commissioners of police then, Philbert James, I think it started Everett Snaggs, and some other one were commissioners under Martin Joseph, right? Trevor Paul also, right? But Patrick Manning had how should I put it, zoomed in on something that, listen, national security requires people who are not connected with national security. It's the best way to get results. People who can manage things and make sure that the resources are given to the respective agencies to ensure that things got done, right? In the government changes, in comes the People's Partnership Government. What did the People's Partnership Government do? First to begin with, a lot of the things that were put in place by the Manning government from the previous 8 years or so, all went out the window. They were all cancelled. Everything was changed, right? And ministers of national security, who did they do? Who did they use? John Sandy, former Defense Force official. Carl Alfonso, former Defense Force official. Emmanuel George, he was just there briefly. Gary Griffith, former soldier in the army. There was a fifth one. It was 5. I remember carefully. It was 5. The next name is not coming to me right now.
Jack Warner?
Jack Warner, yes. Jack Warner was probably the only one that might have made the difference. You know me, I like Jack Warner, right? People say all kind of things about him, but I think he is result-oriented, and I think he would have made a difference. But of course, he gets a lot of licks politically because of all what was going on in FIFA and whatnot. So maybe it wasn't the right choice at the point in time, but I still think somebody like Jack Warner would have made that difference. So that 5 ministers of national security and endless junior ministers, it failed. In comes the PNM again under Dr. Rowley. And again, Dr. Rowley tried something different with Gary Griffith. And I honestly believe Gary Griffith would have succeeded. Gary Griffith, of course, had to contend with a COVID that came in 2 years after he became commissioner, and of course, all the other issues that surrounded it, right? And of course, he fell out. He talked himself into a job and then talked himself out of a job. I maintain that, right? But I still think we would have made a lot more strides under Gary Griffith, and a lot was done. People like to say he like to talk I, but he ain't lying about the things he's talking about, right? And then the government changed again, and what did we get? Well, before the government changed, the PNM went to McDonald Jacob, who I also think could have made a difference, but he came through the rounds. Who was the other one? Earl Christopher, the most disastrous commissioner of police we probably would have had. And then they embarrassed the poor lady at the end of her tenure by having her arrested. You understand? And I honestly believe that was a form of to embarrass her. So you see, politics and some issues, it just don't work. It just don't work. And now we have Alistair Gavaro, all of a sudden now to the blue is Commissioner of Police with Roger Alexander as Homeland Security Minister. That doomed for failure.
I hear you. I don't necessarily agree, because at the end of it all, I cannot say that yes, we have not gotten it right, but it doesn't mean that we would not be able to get it right. People have been asking within recent times, what it is that this shield will bring, and I've seen it almost every day. Somebody is commenting, they want to know what to expect and what is the goodies and all those different kinds of things. Now that they actually get something, at least they get a little information coming out of it. Like they ain't want the information.
Sir Charles, America can't fix. Sir Charles, America can't fix their own problems. They can fix ours.
Well, so what you're saying is, so the whole thing totally unfixable? I don't. It may
not unfixable, Sir Charles, but we have to fix our problems.
Yeah, but we are now ourselves. We are now our own. Can't fix it, Wendell.
No, we could, because as I say, we saw where 2 prime ministers went off track, I should say, and did something and put people there that they thought would make a difference, and those people did in fact make a difference, as brief as it was. Okay, but again, everything gets mired in politics in this place. Everything, unfortunately, gets mired in politics. Let me tell you something. If the People's Partnership government, if the UNC, the current UNC government was smart, they would stay far from Alexander as a national security minister, as a homeland security minister, and they would stay far from Guevara, who was there in special branch for all them years as a commissioner of police. They would change them immediately. Put Kennedy Swarat Singh or Michael Dowlat or Jolene John or somebody like that as national security minister.
Yeah, but I'm
a commissioner from some out of the police service. That's what they need to do.
But you ever see the movie? I think there's a movie called To Catch a Thief. You know, so maybe you need somebody who come in from the belly, who understand the thing, who probably can infiltrate.
No, so Charles, we tried that. It ain't working. It ain't working.
Maybe
all the years Patrick Manning was there, he didn't have a choice because of how the commissioners were selected back then, right? They had to come up through the ranks, and it had to be the most senior officer.
Well, maybe it didn't work then, Wendell, and there was probably maybe reasons for it not working. But it doesn't mean that it may not work again if you tweak it differently. Maybe what they would probably do is not what the others would have done, and if they're getting a little more information and other things coming at them that can help them, it just may make a difference. I see people talking about what's the information and all that sort of thing. There are some levels that, if, for example, if you are not part of this circle, you cannot get certain information. I mean, just like if you cooperate within the political parties, everybody is part of the political party, but ground troops don't know what the second level, what the inner cabinet, what the hierarchy, and those who sit with the finances at the top, what they are speaking about. But we're all part of the party, you know. You understand? So maybe now that we have joined the Shield, and there may be that kind of trust or to share that information wasn't there before, because all is not part of this, and if all they're not signing on to certain things, or they're not here with us, so we can't give all this certain information.
So Charles, we have always gotten collaboration from the US, you know.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get to that certain level.
It has always been the case, you know. This is not new, you know.
Yeah, but if they felt at some point in time we could give them the information, but here we're on. What they have been showing us in the past is here we're on. Every time we get them the information, the crooks are alerted, this happening, and people still slipping through the cracks. If we have a different set of people now are saying, well, here we are, no, we are going to attack this thing differently. We are going to share information with you all. You're all going to share information with us. And they see that it might be heading in a particular direction. They might be just might just be able to share a little more with Trinidad and Tobago. We just might be able to get a little more information, a little more resource coming to fight some of these things that are happening.
And who are going to? Alexander and Guevara?
So what you're saying
that something about it?
So what you're saying that these two individuals are corrupt?
I never use the word corrupt.
We can't say that. You understand?
No, so Charles, don't put words in my mouth. I never say that they are corrupt. I don't know them. Right. I am just saying they have come through the ranks of the police service, such as the police service hopeless. You know, you listen to me.
I'm saying that they have come through the ranks. You understand? They would know where the bugs, the kinks are. Now, I'm not saying that they're handling it the right way, you know, because I don't know what they are doing. And everything seems to be a secret. Nobody tells you anything, especially where national security is concerned. It's always like, you can't get the information, and they could only give you a certain amount of information. But it still doesn't mean that persons who come through the rank and are now there at the highest level will not be able to look back and say, well, hey, you see that this is where this happens, this is where this does pass, this is who the people are responsible.
So Charles, honestly, when I first heard about Alistair Guevara and we interviewed him, remember, we were one of the first people to interview him on this show. First people to interview the new commissioner. I was hopeful that day, but he said some things that I said EBS in. But anyway, I gave him the benefit. And then after that, he just made everything coming out of his mouth just sound so political, and like he just bowing to everything with the government. And I said, well, that's it. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, TTP is hopeless.
But as I said, everybody has look at it through different lens, so.
No problem.
And I said, but as I said, if you are, if that is the case, the main players outside there who may be offering to help us with certain things, if they saw it the same way we are seeing it, well, then why are they even bothering to help us? Why are they bothering to put that resource? If Trinidad and Tobago, just like we you remember they have all of these international bodies that we signed on to, and they're going to blacklist you if you don't see certain things done. And we have been, just the other day, we had a big fallout between the PNM and the UNC as to who was responsible for getting us off some blacklists. That was just about 2 weeks ago.
But it was obvious it was the PNM. Richard brought out the evidence to prove that.
Well, that's right. So the PNM said that is what they did. It was responsible for us coming off that blacklist. And the UNC saying, well, it's because we either supported or did other things. It is responsible.
Well, it happened under the UNC. No doubt about that. So, but I want to address somebody.
No, but wait, that's not before you address that. I just want to make the point. So in things like that, if you were on blacklist and now you are compliant, doesn't that put you in a different standing with international bodies as to how they treat with you? How they will support you if you or do certain things to help you if they see you making an effort. So because of things like that, all those things is probably what will give us the help and to do and deal with some of the problems that we are facing.
So Charles, let me state for the record and restate for the record that anything that would help us in Trinidad and Tobago make life easier for people, I am all in favor of it. I don't care which government does it, which is why I told you all I stand by a particular minister who I think she can make a difference. I've said that, right? And so if this government at some point in time gets the handle on crime without a state of emergency, if the damn police go and do the work and people do the job, then I am all in favor of it, right? But such as we cannot live perpetually under a state of emergency. It cannot work. But I want to address Andre. He said Wendell very skillfully avoided mentioning any of the ministers under the last PNM government. What about Mr. Hines, Edmund Dillon? It's supposed to be Edmund Dillon and Stuart Young. No, they were not successful. If that's what you want me to say, they were not successful, which is why Dr. Rowley himself stuck his neck out for a commissioner of police that came outside of the ranks. If you remember, it's under the same Dr. Rowley and these same ministers that Gary Griffith was selected. He stuck himself out. Edmund Dillon was a former soldier, again, failure as a minister. That's what you want me to say. I could say it for you. Fitzgerald Hines talk too much sometimes. Failure as a minister. That's what you want me to say. Stuart Young, I think, might have been the only one that tried. But Stuart Young was overwhelmed by too much portfolios and too much work. Poor fella. Dr. Rowley had a plan for him that he ended up scuttling the same plan he had for the man. You understand?
The weight of the armor was heavy for him.
Yeah. Andre, I hope you're satisfied. I don't put water in my mouth to talk how I feel. You mightn't always agree with it, but I don't hold back. I speak the truth. A lot of people don't like it, but I speak the truth. Right? My truth. All right. Richard, you're back? Welcome back.
Hello, how are you all?
We're going to be chatting away. So Charles and I chatting away.
Yeah, here all the beating up.
It happens like that.
With regard to Alexander and Guevara, I am still willing to give them the chance to see what happens.
Sorry, Richard, I missed you. I had to kind of go on my phone to say something. What did you say just now?
I said with Alexander and Guevara, as I said earlier, they're new in the post, so I will still say, okay, let me give you some leeway and see where this goes. But
they're not new to national security, Richard.
They are new to the positions that give them the power that they have, Wendell. And I mean, my only concern is the civilian authority giving up the kinds of power over citizens with this constant calling of state of emergencies. Because state of emergencies is a cop-out as far as I'm concerned, and it's giving the police too much power consistently. And of course, that's what they want. They want to make it easier for them, right? That's what the police would want. They would wish that we could always be in a state of emergency, that we are a police state, that they could do what they want. But that's not what we are. And the constant acceding of that power to the military or security agencies, I find concerning from a civilian government. That's all I will say on it. I find that concerning. Your civilian government, stop ceding and kowtowing to what the security and military want.
Well, we might as well let the US come and run the place now. Because if we're dependent on a list from them, we might as well let them send a commissioner, let them send a minister, and let them run the place.
Well, I mean, I suppose we have always had an intelligence relationship with the United States. So I don't think that list is news, really. I'm sure the US would have advised the Rowley administration, the Patrick Manning administration, this partnership administration, of whatever security concerns and how they could have assisted and who to watch. Roger Alexander mentioning it doesn't mean that it's new. So I'm sure that previous governments would have had that kind of intelligence, because we have always had an intelligence relationship with the United States.
All right, we could open up the lines, folks. We could take some calls. We were supposed to get a guest today, but we might have him tomorrow instead. A countervailing view concerning the Shield of Americas and so on, and what it would, how Trinidad and Tobago is expected to benefit from it. Hopefully, the Prime Minister, I think they are coming back today, will have a press conference to enlighten us as to what happened. I'm a bit. Nicholas Morris, who's been the one mostly speaking on behalf of the contingent in the office of the Prime Minister, I am also concerned about them going again and having, how I should put it, national security talks without the national security minister and energy talks without the energy minister. This is not the first time that has happened. But maybe they'll enlighten us when they return.
Yeah. And incidentally, as we talk in the public holidays, apparently like the people in Florida have decided to give the Prime Minister a public holiday.
Yeah, the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Yes,
the city
Fort
of Fort
Lauderdale has decided to give.
And it was the reception was held in Joy's Roti Shop.
By Joy.
If they ever go Fort Lauderdale and ain't go Joy's Roti Shop, then all they know Trinidad.
Yeah. Until Joy, she could do some advertising here on the net. All right.
I beat the iron and all kind of thing in the back of Joy's Roti Shop already, I read them section.
Yeah. So the Prime Minister now has a day, Kamala Prasad Bisesa Day. I think it's going to be celebrated on the 8th of March from here on in. So, let's take that.
Yeah. You mean every single year there will be a holiday?
I think that's what I was getting from it.
It's not a holiday, They just have
like what Sir Charles just says holiday.
No, it's not a holiday.
A recognition day.
Yeah, it's not a holiday.
It's like a UN recognition day.
Also, it's not a holiday because that is a big difference, Sir Charles.
All right, I understand that.
Yeah.
So Charles, play the video from the tea room chat now.
No, today's 11. We can designate the breakfast show designates today Sir Charles Day. What?
Yeah.
Annually.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyhow, what's this? Oh, anyhow, caller, good morning to you.
Good morning. A blessed good morning to you, Sir Charles and Wendell, gentlemen. Great program as usual. I said noted because The question is, who is on that list? Is it small fries on the list or is it big fish on the list? If it's small fries, you know them going to get mashed up like chili baby. If it's big fish, you don't know bubble going on run. Somebody going to pay a change to get a name wiped off. Just now, I wouldn't be surprised you'll hear that miss listen. That miss will be missing just now. Or they have an error, a glitch or some kind of thing. Is that a racket going wrong and wrong and wrong?
You're right.
Doesn't surprise me no more again. And when they said it correctly with all them people and them you call before, waste of time, they really do nothing much for crime. And it's true. Crime is me and you.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be each other keeper. But at the same time, the police have to do their work. They can't be every time. Remember when them first came in? What they do? They did SOE one time. I mean, so you never have a crime plan. And I was singing like a canary. Every time I call in, I'm talking about it. Every Monday morning, they was talking about PNM, this, PNM, that. They was talking about Dr. Rowley this, Dr. Rowley that, but they don't have a crime plan. She gonna pause say the US will help. I said the only reason why US probably might help is because they have something to benefit at the end of the day. US to go in no country just so and say we come in to help. Just, no, they have to get something in return. That's why they had a set of war going on right now. And Trump he's king of everything. But he fails to realize what goes wrong will come around. And I hope he can handle it when they come around. It's not no threat or anything. It is what it is. The Bible must fulfill. Right? But anyway, gentlemen, great program as usual.
How the Bible reaching that? How the Bible reaching that? How the Bible reaching that?
The Bible is reaching everything.
The ways Richard happens.
The Bible gets in.
Guys, we have an important anniversary to announce. I just get both more than once. Today is the wedding anniversary. And guess how much years now? 26 years this woman put up with this man. 26 years Denise put up with this man. Anyway, happy anniversary, Denise and Corey Pascal.
Oh my goodness, today is the anniversary.
26 years.
I thought that the anniversary was like a month ago or so.
Well, he just have to celebrate it every month. If Denise say, hey, today's my anniversary, he has no choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was like a month ago. How much gift they want so for the anniversary?
Mr. and Mrs. Pascal. Happy anniversary from the breakfast.
Happy anniversary. Denise.
All right. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
You all asked a loaded question this morning on the poll question because there's no direct answer without an explanation. What I expect to happen is that I expect the Trinidad and Tobago to action the low-hanging fruits on this alleged list. So you find Pookie and Riri. If they're
not Riri, don't call Riri name.
If they're not dealt with the same way that they dealt with the people on the ships, on the boats, right? If the Trinidad and Tobago authorities decide not to deal with them in that harsh way, and they are arrested, they're going to be arrested because Massa say there's terrorists, there's drug cartels. Massa say that they're on a list, no evidence, no intelligence. They're just going to arrest these people. 5 years after, the courts are to let them free. They're going to now be eligible to sue the state for wrongful arrest, and they'll not be charged with anything. That's the same thing that they're accustomed doing, locking up people like unthinking animals to battle without evidence, without any case, without a proper case, and just put these people in poised position to sue the state and become $100,000 ends. Because, as Richard rightly said this morning, they don't win nearly the amount of money that they really should be entitled to when they sue after they sue the state. This $100,000 and $200,000 is small money for the years of inconveniences. Only the video and iPod people I see get a significant amount of money, and that is probably because of the significant amount of years that they spend behind bars with what appears to be no evidence or the case fall apart or whatever it is. Right? There's the only case that I could tell that people win a significant amount of money.
True, eh? Over $2 million each of them guys get, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 point something.
Yes.
That could change your life.
Yeah.
But is it worth it? Was it worth the 10 or 17 years they spent in jail? Would they have given up that for $2 million? Knowingly.
Yeah.
Well,
that is
I
so
have a
true.
comment, but I can't make it on
Thanks very
radio.
much, Lincoln.
But I'll tell all you something, and as Lincoln raised that day quick, let me get this off my chest too one time. Because PNM people also used to get vexed with me when I say this. PNMs, we would have campaigned in between 2010 and 2015 about what was inarguably the most corrupt government between 2010 and 2015. I used to say it on radio. I said it was, when you listen to the levels of corruption and see 25 ministers being removed, fired from office for all manner of things, and PNM came into power, and I say
alleged corruption, Wendell. Alleged.
Right,
Nothing has been proven. Nobody went to court. Nobody was charged. So say alleged.
Right. Okay. So that's the point.
Or in my opinion, or whatever.
Okay. Richard, that's the point.
Especially after 10 years in office.
But thanks. You see why you are my lawyer now? I don't have no lawyer again. You are my lawyer now. So Dr. Rowley came into power. And I say, you see this man? He's a serious man. If you remember when we interviewed him just before PNM won the election, and he came back right after and gave us an interview too. I said, this man will change this country. This man as a prime minister will change this place. And every time I say, well, right, I'll give him 6 months again. Well, of course, now the Dr. Rowley, if you know, he would come to the platform and he would say, listen, the government can't charge anybody, right? It's the police who would have to charge people and whatnot, right? But I'm still saying a government run by a man like Dr. Rowley could change this place. And I buy into that. And I spent 9 years buying into that. Until he finally decided he had enough. And guess what? Nothing happened. Or you really feel something going to happen under this government now? After this government, who was in power already in 2010 to 2015, talk about how corrupt the Patrick Manning government was, are you really expecting a change? Well, you got to be mad.
Caller, good morning to you.
Morning, gentlemen, and morning to the listeners. You know, I want to address this the shield of the Americans. Now, as I told you, Sir Charles, I feel that's just a PR arrangement by Donald Trump so that approaching the November midterm elections, he will have some basis for saying, look, he attacking the drugs coming from South America, which was one of his campaign pledges. Just like how he has the border peace, which is supposed to help him with the Ukraine war, which he said he would end in 2 weeks' time. Now, what has made it more farcical is this. Since starting this process and all the conference he had in Miami, subsequent to that, he named Kristi Noem as the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Now, if you go and you look at Kristi Noem, she was just fired from the cabinet as Secretary of Homeland Security for a $250 million US advertising PR program that she was heavily featured in, and is corrupt in the sense that the evidence has come out so far that a lot of this $250 million went to two companies with connections to her boyfriend, because she was in a infidelous relationship with one of a close cohort of Donald Trump. You know, her husband has subsequently filed for divorce and all that kind of thing now. $250 million US in corruption. And she was just scolded in front of the US Congress by a congressional committee and fired by Donald Trump. And I suppose he thought it necessary to put her as a special envoy. This is the same person who came to the public and lied about the two shootings in Minnesota by the ICE agents. You know, so I am not too hopeful. She's more about PR, and she might handle that well in terms of propping up Mr. Trump on that campaign promise. But I don't see anything coming out of this shield of the Americas. You know, I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, all right. Okay, no problem. Thanks very much.
Yeah, and you might be right, you know. If the fact that he put Christine Noem there after just embarrassing her and firing her shows that this thing and nothing might be the same. He just looked for an ex to work for her. You understand?
He didn't embarrass her. He didn't embarrass her. She embarrassed herself.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, she was fired.
Caller, good morning to you.
Since that issue
Yeah. Hold on, Wendell. Hold on. Caller, go ahead.
Yes. Now they have this list they get from the U.S. right with suspects, people who are suspect of dealing in drugs and guns and whatnot. Now under the state of emergency, suspects were detained under the state of emergency. Would they detain these same people who are suspect on a list or people of interest? I want to know for sure if that will be done.
That's just a rhetorical question. You just need to call and talk and say that point because we can't answer that. We can't answer that question. That's a rhetorical question.
Getting an answer.
Yeah.
But everybody want us to get locked up too.
Well, we give you that task, Sir Charles. You go and find out.
Yes.
I find out you want to throw task at me just like that. But
hold on. We have good news coming out of that ministry though, is that people can now the landing forms and so on are now online. And I think they're doing a press conference today.
Yes, I assume New Era TT Radio is going to be there.
Well, that's what I say. Sir Charles had to send somebody.
Yeah, I was thinking to send Richard. Richard, on time?
Today is the launch.
I was thinking to send you. I
have no time this week at all.
I emailed you the press pass.
I have no time this week at all. The man you're talking to was the other co-host. He have time.
Not today. I'm going to see about my food batch today.
That is a 5-minute process because you know everybody in City Hall.
I wish.
You're walking there like the Prime Minister.
Yeah. He have more power than the mayor.
Yeah. You don't let me say that.
As a matter of fact, all of his papers must be already done processed on this weekend hand.
You understand? You just pass it to collect.
If he have time, he will go to the
Yeah, and the
morning, Dr. Kumar. You'll see me in a little bit.
People news is straight ahead. So when I see on the net, we're coming back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean TV for Wednesday, the 11th of March. I'm Derek McMillan. So glad that you can join us. The city of Lauderhill in Florida has honored Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar by proclaiming March 8, 2026 as Kamla Persad-Bissessar Day. The proclamation was presented by Denise Grant during a diaspora event in Fort Lauderdale. City officials said the recognition highlights Persad-Bissessar's leadership in Trinidad and Tobago and her influence across the wider Caribbean community. It also acknowledged the contributions of the Trinidad and Tobago diaspora in South Florida to the region's cultural, social, and economic life. In a social media post, Persad-Bissessar thanked the city for the honor and described the diaspora as vital partners in the country's development. The National Insurance Property Development Company Limited has come under scrutiny over the payment of pharmaceutical suppliers. During a meeting of Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, officials said they were instructed by the Ministry of Health to prioritize payments to certain larger companies, while smaller suppliers waited months or even years. Committee Chairman Jagdeel Singh questioned NIPDEC officials about whether former Health Minister Terence Dale Singh was present when instructions were given to prioritize specific companies. Officials confirmed that payment allocations were adjusted following directions from the ministry. The committee heard that at one point, $50 million was directed to a single supplier from an $80 million allocation intended for pharmaceutical payments. A Tobago businessman, a businesswoman, and a company have been committed to stand trial in the High Court over an alleged multi-million-dollar VAT fraud involving the Tobago House of Assembly. During a virtual hearing, Master Kimitria Gray ruled there was sufficient evidence against Richie Habib, Yolande Clark, and Habib International Limited. Investigators allege the company issued 65 invoices to the THA between 2016 and 2021, collecting more than $2.3 million in VAT, despite not being registered under the Value-Added Tax Act. Authorities claim the VAT registration number used on the invoices belonged to another company. The matter is set to begin in the High Court on September 18th. Police have seized ammunition and detained a group of migrants during separate anti-crime operations in Trinidad. Officers of the Northeastern Divisional Task Force conducted a roving strategic drug block exercise in the San Juan and Barataria districts on Monday. During searches along William Street in Aranguez, officers discovered a plastic container hidden in a drain containing 21 rounds of ammunition, believed to be 5.56 millimeter rounds. The items were seized. In a separate exercise later that night, officers detained 21 migrants in Carronage. Police said the group included 11 adult men, 8 adult women, and 2 boys aged 16 and 6. The migrants were detained after officers from the Coastal and Air Support Unit and the Carronage Police Station responded to information from the radar center about a vessel heading toward the area. Police said the operations were coordinated by senior officers and form part of ongoing efforts to combat crime and illegal activity. The Trinidad and Tobago Emergency Management Agency is receiving training and equipment from the United States to strengthen disaster preparedness. The support is being provided through the United States Embassy in Port of Spain and United States Southern Command to improve the management of TEMA's disaster relief warehouses. The program, valued at $265,000, will be carried out in 2 phases. The first phase began on March 9th with a 5-day training session in Tobago, where 15 TEMA personnel are learning to use inventory software to better track emergency supplies. Additional warehouse equipment is expected to be delivered later this year. In international news, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is calling on the people of Iran to overthrow their government as tensions escalate in the Middle East. In a message posted on social media, Netanyahu urged Iranians to remove what he described as their tyrants and seize the moment to gain their freedom. He said Israel and its allies are creating conditions that could allow the Iranian people to determine their own future. Meanwhile, Iran has accused Israel of killing 4 of its diplomats in an airstrike on a hotel in Beirut. Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, Amir Saeed Iravani, described the attack as deliberate and a serious breach of international law. However, the Israeli military says the strike targeted operatives linked to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force. The developments come as Israeli strikes in parts of Lebanon continue to displace civilians.
And that's news to this hour. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
For God shall wipe away, yes sir, every tear from their eye. Yes sir. Get ready.
TNT Get Ready for Kirk Franklin in concert. Prisoners No More. We meet at the Queen's Park Oval on March 21st for an unforgettable evening of revival and renewal with Kirk Franklin and his full band.
Revolution. Come on, do you want a revolution?
And Trinbago's top gospel artists, Jaron Nurse, Gates Praise, Blessed Messenger, St. Anthony's Music Ministry, and Darren Sandy.
But there is no sunshine.
Early bird tickets are sold out. General, kids, VIP, group, and cabana tickets available at accesstix.com. Hacker restaurants nationwide, Maranatha bookstores, Living Water Community, Santa Rosa Bookshop, Arima, St. Anthony's, RC Church, Point Fortin, Sky 99.5 FM, CNC3, and the Big Board Company are the official media partners. Endorsed by Catholic TT and the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Kirk Franklin is coming to TNT.
Scandal in Cedrus is coming to San Fernando, and it is hilarious. Coming from sold-out houses in Port of Spain, this is the play that has audiences in stitches. 2 nights only at Naparima Bowl. Saturday the 14th of March at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 15th at 6:30 p.m. Box office at Naparima Bowl opens from Monday, March 9th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. Tickets also available at K-Square Fashion Seatley Center and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. Tickets also available at Friends of Marabella by the Roundabout. Scandal in Cedrus, the comedy event of the year.
Save more now at Furniture Plus. Get a pair of pillows for only $49, queen mattresses from $7.99, free gifts with select purchases, plus extra discounts on higher purchase plans. Hurry, visit any Furniture Plus showroom today.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
2 fat fellas goes to San Fernando. Heading south.
2 fat fellas comes to Sapa for 2 nights only. Saturday 14th and Sunday 15th March. 2 nights only.
2 fat fellas stars: Cecilia, Penny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Roy. Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store along Circular Mall, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Athletes by the Park. All Southern Food Basket locations. Sapa box office opens on Friday the 13th and islandeattickets.com. For more info, 683-4843.
2 fat fellas, Sapa, 2 nights only.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the final session here of the Breakfast Show. It is New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean TV.
You know, there's a saying that time flies when you're having fun. Today going by very quickly, isn't it?
Well, speaking of having fun and time flying by, if you are trying to use the bus this morning to get in and out of Port of Spain, especially along the East-West Corridor, apparently there's some kind of protest action taking place with the drivers, and it's difficult to get buses moving in the hub this morning. You know, I think probably when negotiations start, all kind of thing that's happening here.
That happening in City Gate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a pity that it's not easy to get on to like transport minister and stuff to get information with some of these things, you know. But if you are experiencing delays or you find that you're waiting on the bus and you're not getting it, it just might be because of all that action that is taking place there.
Yeah. You know how many people depend on the bus service? Plenty people, you know.
A lot of people. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember there was a time I was at City Gate, and this gentleman, the guy was waiting for the bus, you know, and it was delay after delay, and he's like, "This is your. How I going to get home because I can't, you know, I don't have money to travel," and because of the delay and stuff, eventually the heat and everything, the man fainted and things. I called the ambulance him, you know. And I remember a lot of these elderly people on medication and for different things too.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yes, they need to fix that service properly and stuff.
Yeah. There was something, another news item that we skimmed past was this pharmaceutical bacchanal that happened.
You know, I was just about to read that for you also, Wendell, so I'm happy you raised it.
Yeah. Because apparently, and it goes to, it's today's what they call it, the editorial in the Express. It says the revelation that officials from NIBDEC kowtowed to the then Minister of Health against their better judgment demonstrates the inherent problem with state-run agencies. The disclosure came last Monday at a meeting of the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of the Parliament. NIBDEC's head of finance and accounting, Jabari Kozier, was asked whether in 2023 and 2024, if larger firms had been favored for outstanding payments for drugs supplied from the government over smaller companies. Kozier admitted that NIBDEC had recommended proportional payments out of a $110 million loans facility, but was instructed by the Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary, Asif Ali, to favor specified companies instead. The pushback would have been always sending the ministry our recommendations to allocate it to everybody to get a proportionate share of what was being paid. I could tell you this ain't only happening in Ministry of Health. It didn't only happen in Ministry of Health. It says, when pressed, he admitted former Health Minister Terence Dayal Singh would have been aware of the contrary instructions. Inevitably, questions will now be raised about kickbacks, political financiers, and cronyism. Yet, technically speaking, nothing illegal may have occurred. NIBDEC's board, like all boards of state entities, must follow the instructions of the line minister once such instructions do not contravene their obligations under the Companies Act. So apparently it's being alleged that the big companies get the money and the small companies have to wait.
Have to wait and wait and wait.
That's not uncommon in most, if not all ministries. That's not uncommon.
You know, what was interesting in reading that article also, because out of an allocation of $80 million, one company got 50 of that $80 million, you know.
Imagine that, Imagine that.
So they're making sure certain people get the money, get all the money, and others have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and most of the time, the smaller man is who really choking and barely treading water to keep his company afloat.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm choking.
Yes. You know, I get your little thing, but all the big ones getting all the money.
Yeah.
Continuously, you know. So, but I think a fair play is not easy.
And guess what? I bet you no names. Well, I don't know if names called in Parliament, in the committee, but I bet you no names come out in the public as to who these companies are that benefit.
These companies are.
I bet you no names come out. Yeah, I bet you.
Wow. Yeah, but it's you know, and what is strange and not very strange, but sad about all of these things. And this is I keep telling people that's why this whole leadership so important. Whoever's in charge of that and reading that and hearing about that, because they read newspapers, they listen to the media and stuff, and they will go about their business like normal, you know.
Yeah.
When you realize that, hey, you see that is a systemic problem that we have to fix.
Yeah. Because as the editorial said, Sir Charles, there's nothing illegal about it, you know.
Yeah.
But when favoring people, there's nothing illegal about it, you know. So in other words, the minister or the permanent secretary didn't breach any law, you know.
Yeah.
But they still favor people, and that's the order of the day now in this society we call Trinidad and Tobago, and in many societies, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
But how do we? And that is what I'm saying. So if you are in charge of that and see that unfair practice taking place, as a new administration, let us say, right? What do you do to make sure these things don't continue because they have been happening for a long time. This is not a no situation where I'm sure I went up.
So, Charles, it had to be in you, you know. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That is why I made that point about national security. It has to be inherently in you to fix this place, you know. That you don't get a position and then decide you're gonna do it. That ought to be in
you have
you.
to be there before. Yeah.
And that's why I used to make the point even in local government. We have been putting square pegs in round holes. We have been putting people who we could control, people who will do our bidding. We're not putting people who have the best interest of that city or of that town or that district in thing. We're not putting the best people for that.
Yeah.
We're putting people who we can control. People who just keep their mouth shut and not say nothing. That's who we put.
People looking to fill their pocket.
That too. Sadly. That too. People who have an agenda. You understand? Or who you know will carry out your agenda. That's the people we've been putting sometimes. Sad to see.
Yeah, boy, that's something else. There's one other thing I wanted to raise, and I can't remember it at this point in time. So, Leonard, let's take some calls as we wind down and wind up this session this morning. So yeah, lines are open to you. 2811315 2995156. Good morning to you, caller.
Hello.
You caller you there?
Miss Samson.
Not Miss Samson at all. That was Raymond. Raymond didn't realize that he was on. Dabadi.
Normally we get an echo when he's on anyway. Because he's been listening delayed.
Yeah. Right. Dabadi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I know I said like I go in the back and start over the phone.
You know, when you said that nobody's name was mentioned, but the speaker or the chairman of the proceedings, he called Mr. Terence Yasin's name.
No, I'm speaking about the business people, the companies.
Yeah.
The minister of health his name, but I don't know the companies that got the preferential treatment.
I found that how the chairman of the proceedings said was Mr. So involved, you know. But even though the guy wants to say yes, in fact he hasn't been there long enough anyway to know that. But I find when he said it, I say, oh my God, something gonna start up here now. It's like favoritism and all of that. But I can give you all an example and an experience. I mean, with me, I supplied a particular supermarket with stuff, my big stuff. I mean, I'm a small business person, and I take forever to get paid, forever to like withdraw my services from them after I got my money. Long after, you know, I ain't talk about 2 weeks and 3 weeks, so long after. So you see, that's what I like to do the small people. The big ones, you get your money one time or 1-2 days after. But we could wait, or saying them could wait. So, you know, it, probably across the board, yeah, that policy across the board right through from people. Right, my next point is, you see this thing with the Shield of the Americas? It's only a nice name for Donald Trump to look good, because like he does them friends. And you know, when I look at the list, those Latin American, all the presidents from the Latin American countries that were there, each one of those presidents begging. Argentina is stuck. Argentina is so below the wood that they would do anything for America to help them, right? Plus the others. So I wasn't surprised that those particular countries that he invited. Why didn't he invite Mexico? Because Mexico's standing firm with what they believe in. But those countries are like sucking up to Donald Trump, right? And I see our Prime Minister Kamala Harris, she's doing the same thing, right? And not back the Ilfanari from Guyana. I listened to him 2 nights ago on the news, and all of a sudden, he talking about this, people's country, like how he said Cuba should now have a democratic country. Why all interfere with the people business? Cuba has been Cuba like that since I know, from whatever time I read from 1959, I reading for the Bay of Pigs and this and that when Castro was the president. So how come all of a sudden you all in the Caribbean find after they use up all the doctors and the nurses, all of a sudden, all they find that Cuba is supposed to be a democratic country, while they talk that all the time. And Jamaica too. Jamaica got me real vexed and then want to say it's because of arrangement for the payment. I think that is old talk to get rid of them. They shall leave all the people there and you know what will happen to them? All and all might not be talking now. Anyway, have a good day.
Yeah, okay. Time change, people change, Dabadi. Interest. Caller, good morning.
Hey, Carol, what's up?
I am good.
What's up?
Mr. Patrick.
Morning, Mr. Patrick. Morning, everybody. You know, sometimes I just sit down and I just think. I just critical think. I just think. You could remember some years back we had something called a Scott drug report.
Yes.
Who can hold from that?
Go ahead, Mr. Patrick.
A Scott drug report. The name of all the big people. Who can hold from that? Nobody never can hold from that. Understand? No. You see all these seeds of America and all kind of things going on. America looking for allies. America looking for a country who could give them support. America don't do nothing without getting payback. Understand? Say people feel America will just run in the country. You come out and Donald Trump pull away all subvention from countries that used to get Red Cross and get this and that, and he said he fight enough war for people countries and they pay him, they pull out. People don't listen to the news. People don't listen to the news. And another point, I read an article yesterday. All these people who work in tongue when they're for carnival and all about clean the grass, cut road, they ain't get no money.
They haven't been paid as yet.
Even they get no money.
As yet, Mr. Patrick, don't get any money.
Well, people asking when, and they say the ministry said no money.
That is not accurate, Mr. Patrick.
But you can remember when with a Tangu, right? Right? Say they will find the money to pay the bill. They have $450 million in some fund, unemployment fund.
Yeah, I could only speak for the Carnival cleanup program. That the funds are there, but what is delaying it is a lot of paperwork. That is what is delaying it. Typical bureaucracy.
Not only Port Spain.
What?
Not only Port Spain.
No, I'm speaking about the Carnival cleanup program that was held over the
across the board.
Right, but
I could only speak for that.
People went and cut grass all about the basically program around the airports and around certain places. People went down and work. They say they have not yet received no money.
Okay, yeah, but as you said, the bureaucracy, yes, we can improve that. But
so then why are you employing people? I want people to finish work. I want to get them on time. Why people doing people that? According to the lady not talk for that.
Mr. Patrick, Carnival money does take a little while to come.
I'm not talking about Carnival money.
Well, all that is, you understand? All that come like Carnival money.
The people who get employed.
Yeah, but that's what I said. All that is employment.
Yeah?
All that is employment. You know, it's a couple, you're working for the government, it's a couple of months you're going to take to get our money.
Mr. Patrick, because I have a little knowledge about that particular program, I can tell you a simple thing like somebody not putting the NIS number or putting it wrong or missing certain IDs and so on. That is what is causing the problem with that particular program. I can only speak about that because that's the only one I have knowledge about. I don't know what else you're talking about. And the funds are in fact there for that. That I can tell you.
Yeah. The bureaucracy of some of those things really and truly, but I mean let's hope that they can really push it through, because at the end of it all, you know, people need the money, or they try and see what all they can do to push it through. All right, caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Charles. Good morning, Wendell.
Morning, Raymond.
Morning,
in terms of the shield of America, my problem is Mr. Charles, Wendell, when would the Prime Minister detail to the country what transpired in terms of the Shields of America and what is going to benefit this country in any way. Why is the leader afraid to face the public? Why?
But she's coming back today.
The leader is out of the country still, eh?
No, I'm not talking about being out of the country now. I'm talking about when she's in the country. You never face the electorate. You never face your citizens and tell them or explain them. Let them ask you a question and you give them an answer. So what you will do is keep sending these low-level ministers and things, and when the media asks them a question, they cannot answer.
We'll find out that we'll get an answer to that today because they're supposed to return today. Let's see if they will hold a press conference.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that nobody telling you every Monday morning face the public, but you make you have an excursion. You have serious talk. Don't you think it is fair and reasonable for you to come to the country and say what transpired that Trinidad and Tobago will gain X, Y, and Z from my visit within a time frame of a year, 6 months, as the case may be?
Politicians don't ever give you time frames, and you know that too. I can remember any politician, and thanks much, caller. Any politician, when they go on any thing, even though they're coming back and they're talking about projects right here, you don't get timelines being put that this particular operation that we put into place here is expected to yield so and so, and it is going to drop. And by the next 6 months a year, you can see this done. Let's be very, very careful not to give you that kind of information because they don't want you to hold them to that in case or most of the time when it falls through. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Zina.
My powder puff girls, good morning, and all those who love
Golden girls. Nothing powder puff for them. Golden girls.
My powder puff girls. Right.
The fellas are the like a hair, say that you know, Zina.
It's their business. Take it, yeah, they could lump it, lie down side of it. I want to tell Far Rockaway who texts in there all the time, Mr. Rockaway. It's negativity day in and day out, you keep saying. But it's the truth. And I don't agree with you, Mr. Patrick. Don't ever come on this radio and spread no propaganda and no thing. No. I'm not agreeing with you. You understand? What he said is the truth. We had so many different reports with names called and people, and nothing ever comes out of it. He's not telling any lies.
No, I think, Zina, I think what he was referring to is the issue of people not being paid and they have no money and all that. I think that's the one he was referring to.
But when they really don't have any money, the people who do those jobs on written, and most of them is the same ones who went on the breadline.
Yeah, but Wendell was just telling all this something. All you listen to Wendell?
Yes, I heard that. But what I am saying,
so all you believe Wendell neither?
The length of time they have to stay, they have to remember that these people live in on a day-to-day basis.
And you're right about that part. It takes
like
too long.
They have the big lump sum in the parliament pay coming in every month, you know. These people are the same ones who went on the breadline. So you're talking about hungry people, and remember that over 50,000 people were sent home who will have no jobs, and I don't know how crime will fix in this country, you know, because there are some people that live in high and fat off the hog, and others here in this country don't know where another meal coming from because of what transpired. It's very, very unequal in this country, and now it works. They thought they had austerity measures under Dr. Rowley, and now finding out what austerity measures is now. So I don't agree with that. And to Richard, I want to tell him I agree with the lady. Yesterday I was calling to tell him I like how she says she came to the prayer and she wanted to be by herself. all alone she gave herself that time, and I could agree with that.
You do the same thing?
The only reason I am doing it is because I don't want to drive home by myself in the night.
Cleave, leave, and cleave. What is wrong with it? Leave and cleave.
Let me tell you, I told Richard already, when I went to that central bank, I went there more than once with my husband. I couldn't laugh as loud as I did want. Every minute he took it, oh God, you is the only person that laugh so loud. And then, gosh, right. So like,
your husband,
don't want nobody to stop me from laughing as hard as
I agree with you with that. Your husband wrong. He know he the woman he marry. What the hell? He wrong.
What you go there to do?
He wrong. He's dead wrong.
Like bacchanal, yeah. Go on.
All right. How you gonna go with Zena in a play? I play with Richard and don't want the woman laugh. Mr. Zena, you're wrong. You're wrong.
She too scandalous.
Scandalous woman and that is cruel and inhuman punishment.
It is.
It has some people who just laugh very nice and quietly, and there's some people, and they foot up in the air and make a real noise. So probably the mama is trying to say me some that kind of thing,
Wrong.
Yeah. And then and you're right, Gina. Next time go by yourself. If you want to be able to have to be free and laugh how you want, do it how you want, go by yourself.
Man have to accept that the woman just laugh loud and just with you laugh too now? You gotta stop Zena from laughing. Mad.
Yeah, join in the laughter, man. Join in the laughter. Say, baby, show me have a good time like you now.
You could stop Shamin from laughing.
Oh my word. Virginia, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Virginia, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hey, it's only afterwards I realized you were talking about Cooper and crab hole when I asked what it was. I thought that was a new term for something new or something. But anyway. So
You ever went there?
I asked.
You ever went there?
Yeah. I plead the fifth.
Because you
hit me, right? I passed by it a number of times, those two dens of iniquity, as they call it. And
who tell you what dens of iniquity? Who tell you that?
Who it is usually saying that something might bite him on his eye or whatever if he's going there? What comes from that? Come on, I talk long time, I talk long time. Hey, yeah, but Joe Biden moment. I almost forgot what the reason why I called it. Oh yeah.
All right, let me go there. Come.
Wendell, they make a good point about nothing happening, and so too the listeners to the program, right? The fact is, Joseph Mondanello, may God bless his soul, although we didn't get along when I was involved in Republicrat, I call them Republicrat politics, right? He's from Long Island in New York, right? The former ambassador to Trinidad from the US. He told me, at the time when things cool off, that he told me that, listen, we could expose as much as we want in any other country. It is left to the authorities there to take action or not. And you know what? The fact is that every country, as I said, has its untouchables, and it's no different in America too. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, whether you're PNM or UNC. As a matter of fact, up to this day, they have people, I'm surprised some of them in the US, they have people who were involved in like the airport scandal and stuff like that. Trinidadians who the US courts wanted, but unless you have the resources of a Jack Warner or a Brent Thomas or whatever, you can stay right in Trinidad and fight that, and they can't touch you. But they can get the little gangbanger and the guy who beat up his girlfriend and had cocaine out there in Brooklyn and all them places. they could grab them fellas in them. But the fact is that you have the untouchables, both in the PNM and the UNC, especially the donors, the financiers, and those politically connected, right? The US can show how much they can. They won't be released. As a matter of fact, is Jack's sons still in jail in the US, by the way?
No. They back Trinidad for Carnival. They play mass.
Okay, you see. Yeah. Anyway, take it easy, fellas.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Right. I think that is probably a good example.
I don't think they were ever in jail anyway. What we had read about is that they were confined, but I don't think they were ever in jail.
I don't think they were actually in jail, but I think they couldn't leave certain places,
Yeah.
But that kind of thing.
But they're back in Trinidad because I saw pictures of them playing mass or in some fete for Trinidad. In Trinidad, this carnival gone.
Anyhow, people, we are just at that point in time. Let me go and see if I get to coconut dung and citrus. I had to go and ask Mr. Prano what time he up. Prano, what time he up then, boy? Prano must be done up already.
Prano must be there waiting already.
Yeah, all right, okay, no problem.
Like this Prano, like the other Prano, like he gone.
Prano, what Prano? Prano like he disappeared, but he must be ready.
Calvi, where? You going by Paloma? Let me see. Hey, Calvi going in 3 years.
I'm muting his mic. I hope that he ain't cussing nobody in the background.
Anyway, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. All right, take care. See you tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have a guest tomorrow. But I mean, there's so much to talk about now, and we're getting so much how I should put it, contributors. Sometimes, but we'll try to get a guest for tomorrow, please. All right.
All right. No problem. So people stay with us on the stream. The Era TT Radio continues. So when you come off of the other streams, all you have to do is just come across the new era ttradio.com, and you will be able to experience our programming throughout the day. We beam all day, every day. All right. And of course, don't forget the Scandal in Citrus is coming to Naparima Bowl this weekend. So let make sure
a lot of players down south. Scandal in Citrus and Fat Fellas. It's two fat fellas.
Yeah.
Also
two fat fellas or two fat guys or whatever. They are in San Fernando also.
Yeah.
So San Fernando, they have all their fair share of plays this weekend. But make sure they get all their tickets to Scandal, because we understand the Scandal tickets scandalously moving at a pace right now. So if you want to be part of that this weekend, because you never know when after that they may not stay in San Fernando like what they did in Port of Spain. Right? So
what is you and the boss used to say? You never know who or what or where. How did you go?
Yeah. What, where, or why?
I always remember that. After all, you fool people in the lunchtime.
Oh Lord, no boy, that's people with genuine talent. Anyhow, people, what's husband?
The breakfast show.
Well, then should be secretary.
Yeah, he got you.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes.